During the nocturnal strike in Kiev, the air raid shelter does not open. 3 individuals were murdered in a missile attack on Kiev overnight after an air raid bunker did not open, according to Reuters. For minutes after the air alert was made public, a rocket fragment hit close to a clinic's door. And people started heading for the refuge, stated Vitaly Klitschko, the mayor of Kiev. However, locals claimed that because the shelter was closed, they were unable to enter. An air warning went off. Yaroslav Ryabchuk, a local in the Desnyansky neighborhood, told Reuters that his wife grabbed our daughter and they raced to this entrance. The entry was locked, and there were maybe 5 to 10 mothers with young children already there. Nobody offered them an ear. They made loud enough knocks. They attempted to enter the shelter, but nobody let them in. I lost my wife, he remarked. President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine has reaffirmed his argument for Ukraine's participation in the NATO military alliance as he attended a summit of European leaders in Moldova. Zelensky also wants for Ukraine to join the EU. We support Moldova and its people who are integrating into the EU, Zelensky declared. We will never forget how you helped our people, our refugees who escaped during the early stages of the conflict. In the EU, our future lies. Ukraine is prepared to enlist in NATO. While the alliance's door is still open to potential members, countries cannot join the group while at war, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock told reporters during a NATO foreign ministers' conference in Norway. 8 persons were injured in overnight shelling in Shebekino, Russia. 8 people were hurt and houses were damaged in the town of Shebekino overnight, according to the governor of Russia's Belgorod region. In a Telegram video, Belgorod Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov stated, "The armed forces of Ukraine are still shelling the Shebekino district. 8 people have sustained injuries. There are no dead," he continued, adding that after the shelling was done, residents of Shebekino and the nearby villages will be evacuated. Belgorod, which is close to the Kharkiv region of Ukraine, has had numerous assaults recently. While Kiev claims anti-Putin Russian volunteers are operating there, Moscow accuses Ukrainian terrorists of targeting the area. Officials, 3 persons, including a toddler, were killed in an airstrike on Kiev. According to Ukrainian officials, a Russian missile strike on Kiev resulted in the deaths of 3 persons, including a girl and her mother, and the injuries of 10 more. The Ukrainian Air Force claimed to have shot down 10 ballistic and Iskander cruise missiles fired from Russia's Bryansk region during the 18th strike on Kiev since the beginning of May. According to the police, cars, a kindergarten, residential structures, and a medical facility were all damaged. It is International Children's Day, according to President Volodymyr Zelensky's office director Andriy Yermak. Russia once more murdered a youngster in Kiev at night. The terrorist nation has been abusing young Ukrainian children since 2014. After February 24, 2022, there will be no question that this is a true genocide. Army clowns are criticized by Wagner leader, who also promises that troops will take a month off. Yevgeny Prigozhin, the commander of the Wagner group, claims that if his soldiers are given a separate front without having to rely on clowns, they will continue to fight in Ukraine. Prigozhin, who looked to be celebrating his 62nd birthday at a training camp, remarked, "If the whole chain of command is 100% failed and will only be led by clowns who turn people into meat, then we will not participate in it. It's lovely, isn't it?" He smiled as he spoke to Russian media as he looked up into a night sky filled with explosions and red fireworks. Additionally, Prigozhin declared that his troops will eventually surrender Bakhmut to the Russian army on June 5 and depart the city. He stated that his troops desired a month or so of rest at camps in the Ukraine that was under Russian authority. "This year has been difficult. After that, we'll see how it turns out," he remarked. Zelensky advocates for a coalition of fighter jets and Patriot defense systems. In a speech to fellow European leaders, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky advocates for a coalition of Patriot air defense systems and cutting-edge fighter fighters. The decisive components, according to Zelensky in Moldova, are a coalition of patriots that will put an end to Russian blackmail by ballistic missiles, and a coalition of modern fighter jets that will prove that terror against our citizens has no chance. Some Patriot air defense systems have already been delivered to Ukraine, and several European nations have promised to train Ukrainian pilots.